Did you know for millions, anxiety isn't a brain problem, it's a gut problem. Antidepressants might be treating the wrong organ. Most doctors miss this critical connection.
Conventional medicine overlooks the gut brain link. Patients suffer needlessly for years. Today, we're going to explore why your mood issues start with your plate.
Why intestinal issues can cause your anxiety, your depression, your brain fog. And believe it or not, the solution often is a lot more simpler than people think.
Yeah. Welcome to the Empowered Health Dialogues. Our mission is to wake up feeling amazing without any pills or doctor visits. We find root causes, not just masks symptoms.
I'm Dr. Taj, and I'm passionate about addressing the underlying causes that affect people's and their overall ability to live a nice, healthy life.
I'm Tracy, a nutritarian coach, and I healed myself when conventional medicine failed me.
That is true. I think that's why it's so powerful that we're doing today, because there's such strong correlation with the gut and the brain connection and how the gut is the second brain. And it's revolutionizing this how you can look at mental health. And what we've seen just over the years with just observation and firsthand experiences is that it's finally getting the attention that it deserves.
So, if you struggle with anxiety, brain fog, or mood issues, this could transform your understanding and your health. Over 40 million Americans, I will say, take anti-anxiety medications.
That's a lot.
It seems like a lot of people that we come across, they're on some type of anxiety meds.
Yeah.
Yet anxiety rates keep increasing. It keeps climbing, right? So something is missing fundamentally.
Yeah, you say increasing. Well, since 2020, the COVID crisis, the CDC shows that 25% cases have an increase, a 25% increase of cases of anxiety since 2020. And so what can this tell us? One, well, 2020 was a horrible year.
Correct.
A lot of stress, what have you. But to affect and manage and treat that anxiety, the traditional approaches aren't working. And so a different perspective really is much needed.
What's really at stake here, right? So there's decades of medication that masks symptoms.
All
They
the
don't
time.
really get to the root cause, right? So it's just putting a Band-Aid on something, covering it up. And if you cover up a cut for too long, what will happen? It won't heal us. It won't really heal, right? You need that to uncover it and not mask it, right? So the quality of life is severely compromised if you think about it.
Because you can't heal. You can't heal whatever.
You can't.
Yeah, and when you can't heal, then the impact on your life is pretty dramatic because now you're living in a world that's just full of fog. And the medications are creating that fog.
Yes.
So it's only adding to the problem of your own anxiety as already. So you get double fogged.
Yes.
And you cannot get the healing without the effects of all the medicine. So you're hoping for the effect, but you get the side effects and it's causing more and more problems. So we're really truly missing solutions when it comes down to that type of intervention.
Yeah. Leave that lie, and it's instead of figuring out what's causing that. Right? So many are told that their condition is permanent.
Yeah.
You've got anxiety for life, you know?
Yeah.
It's a chemical imbalance of your life for life. It's a chemical imbalance. And you're like, chemical imbalance? Really? All of a sudden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And but what if we told you that's not true?
It's not true. Now, what if the brain issues actually start in your gut? Right? Then that missing connection can explain so many treatment failures.
So addressing the gut health helps many reduce or eliminate medications. I mean, who really wants to be on those, right? Which is what we should all want.
Yeah, and that's a choice. For any kind of intervention, you're going to have the traditional medical way, or you're going to have more of the natural way. And so, for standard anxiety, what typically happens is you get a quick little questionnaire from the doctor or on paper. You get a brief little discussion because the doctors don't have time to talk with to begin with. Oh, by the way, you have anxiety. So what they're going to do? Hey, take this pill. It's gonna be helping you out. But what's missing from that whole interaction with the doctor, the medical system?
There's no questions about your diet.
Yep.
No question. No connection to think about. Well, what are you eating? How's your gut health? Right? None of that. No explanation for the root causes. But just take the pill.
Yeah, it's a cookie cutter approach to people who are completely different, and you have to understand that people are 100% different, and not every treatment is for everybody.
Right.
It's unique. And then that's a problem that I have with the medical system, that no one connects the dots.
Yeah.
right? Specialists know they kind of stay in their little silos and just don't. They work in this little world and don't want to hear anything else because they know all be all. And then because you have specialists and you have your general protections of family doctors and then gynecologists and GI doctors, they're all in their silos, and so now you get this fragmented approach that just fails the patients.
Right. I know a lot of people who are on medication for years. Side effects, right? There's digestive issues ignored by the doctors because they're not making the connection. There's gut anxiety, connection is overlooked.
It really is over. Like, we can't stress that enough, because here's what happens: the pattern just repeats itself consistently over and over and over again. When you are medicating to treat the symptoms, the band-aid, right, doesn't
Yes,
heal.
it doesn't heal.
You're not treating the causes, and so now you're missing how the overall body works, and that's had a problem with a lot of different treatments and how people look at nutrition. There's all interconnected, and it's quite simple but complicated. But don't make it more complicated than it has to be.
Treated as separate parts instead of a whole person.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They're treating we're all, instead of treating everybody synergistically, it's like, you have to look at all these different areas of the human body because it's so complex yet so simple.
Yeah, it really, really is simple. And so I think when it comes down to dealing with anxiety, there's a few myths that I believe just exist and prevalent in people's thinking. And the first one is that anxiety is indeed primarily a brain chemical imbalance. That's the myth I think is
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Because if it was a chemical imbalance, you change the chemical with a pill, then you're good. But
You should bounce right
you should
back.
right back. Yeah, it's oversimplified, and that, in my view, that prevents the healing. Whereas in true reality, I think there's more hope in looking at the gut brain connection.
Isn't that what most doctors say though? Like the standard explanation for decades? You have a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we got to bring it back in balance. And here's a medication. I mean, look at my trusty book. Here's a medication for you. This will help.
Yeah, that's an explanation,
Yeah.
but it's definitely incomplete at best.
Yeah.
It really is, because when you have anxiety, those symptoms often improve
Okay.
when your gut inflammation resolves.
Okay.
Right, inflammation is what destroys the body, creates a lot of chronic diseases, and also the mental anxiety. And again, clinical settings have repeatedly showed this over and over and over again. And so for many people, like when you have mood disorders, they do. It begins with inflammation. And like I said, the brain is part of the body.
Yeah, and it's not a separate entity. People think it is.
Right. So if you can address the inflammation that's causing heart disease or causing diabetes or cancers, why can't you treat the inflammation that's causing the mental anxiety, the mental health?
Yeah, well, consider this fact, right? 95% of the serotonin produced in the gut is in the gut, not in the brain.
And that's your kind of stabilizing neurotransmitter too.
Yeah. You got to clear the gut-brain pathways and make sure that it's nice and humming.
Yeah, serotonin and dopamine. The dopamine is that feel good when you get a Instagram like. You're like, oh, I got a like. Ooh, that's that dopamine kick, whatever else.
Yeah.
But you have to restore that gut back to function.
Yeah.
Get it properly in balance, because when you do that, mental health often improves. I mean, you can almost, how you eat and you get really, really full. What happens to your mental? You're like, oh,
I'm
sleepy.
tired,
Oh, yeah. That's because your gut's telling you that's how you should be feeling. So why not reverse it and have it make how you feel good, all without psychiatric type of medications? Eat the right foods, feel real good in the brain.
Another myth is that diet has little impact on mental health.
That's right up your alley. It's so true, though.
Yeah, I mean, doctors tell people that diet has little impact on your health overall, with anything, with your mental health, with your physical health, with diabetes or whatever. Right? So that this belief blocks real solutions, and that's why so many people are in the dark.
Completely. It's so simple. If I eat Twinkies all day, how am I gonna feel?
Horrible.
Horrible. How am I gonna think I feel?
Horrible.
Right. Now, if I eat broccoli all day, I might not, initially, you may not like it, but if I eat broccoli, how my gut gonna feel?
It feels good because you're feeding those gut microbes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the problem, because most psychologists,
Your funny.
Yeah. Well, they never discuss the nutrition, and that's
Yeah.
a huge missed opportunity in my book.
Yeah, we see mental health transformations all the time, right? So within weeks of dietary changes, people just simply removing the inflammatory foods and things start to take off in a positive way for them, right? People with chronic anxiety for years start to
Yeah.
feel so much better, feel that relief,
It's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
You remove those key inflammatory foods and the experience is dramatic. The symptoms is reduced. And I don't know about you, but if you go from feeling horrible to all of a sudden feeling good, it's like this domino effect. You feel so good, you feel energized. You want to take on the world,
Yes. Yeah.
but don't eat anything bad.
It's that simple. You say just remove stuff, and also you can start turning stuff around. And again, I get frustrated with. I mean, I'm not anti-doctor, but I mean, there's some really bad ones out there, and there's some good ones. But a lot of conventional doctors, they just dismiss these results.
Yes.
That the food is a kind of medicine. I think
Yeah.
Hippocrates said, "No, food is our medicine. Let medicine be our food."
Yeah.
And so when the improvements are happening, yeah, what they do? Oh, it's just coincidental.
Yeah.
Is it really? I mean, aren't you kind of missing the pattern of what's happening here?
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. So the pattern repeats consistently, right? It's not
Yeah.
a coincidence, it's a connection.
With nutrition.
Nutrition.
It really truly is. And so, I mean, like, you nailed it. Remove the inflammatory foods because the inflammatory foods disrupt the gut and the neurotransmitters that make you feel good and have a great mental capacity, right? And you address this, the brain will function properly because you fuel the body with proper nutrition. Your body's going to operate like a prime machine. And the food, essentially, I mean, it's like information for your body.
That's right.
It's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you're giving it the nutrients it needs.
Yeah.
That is information, yeah.
And so a lot of times people ask, okay, well, my goodness, okay, this sounds kind of woo, what have you, but what does it all mean? And how does the gut really, truly impact the brain? Well, there's nerves, first of all, okay, and that nerve is stimulated from the gut because it's a direct communication pathway between the brain and called the central nervous system or the brain, or that's between the gut and the brain. And when the gut is inflamed, well, it's got to send a signal to your brain and say, hey, hold on, distress, warning signs. It's time to act a little bit different here.
That's right. So how does this create anxiety then?
Okay, so the brain can't really distinguish between the gut distress and like external dangers. We talked about this before. You see a tiger in the woods, you see, stress, right? Versus more of that mental stress. And so those triggers are identical
Yeah.
into that response. And so what are those responses? Well, you get those racing thoughts. Like, oh my gosh, the tiger. Oh my gosh,
Gotta run.
no, I
Protection,
gotta
yeah.
run. Oh my gosh, no, I can't pay my bills. Oh, then your heart rate starts going really, beating really rapidly, and you start to get that fight or flight activation. So your stress hormones are just kind of through the roof, which activate your brain to be overactive.
Right. So anxiety might actually be gut alarm signals then, is what you're saying?
That's kind of what I'm saying is that you got to learn to listen to your body. Your body is always giving you warning signals. So, for instance, when I'm doing dentistry, right, and we see bleeding gums. Bleeding gums is not normal.
All right. Oh, yeah. No.
It's not normal. It's like your skin will bleeding. Like, hey, what's going on here?
Right.
But when you have bleeding gums, it's a warning signal that, hey, you got to do a better job keeping me clean, healthy. You got to brush, you got to floss, and guess what? I'm bleeding because I'm inflamed.
Oh, yeah. That's a good way to look at. Well, the average person out there don't look at it that way, but that's how you do look at it. Yes.
Well, you got to think of it like this, right? So your healthy gut, it produces the nutrient your brain needs. Simple, because your food's going to produce health, or it's going to produce more of disease,
Okay.
right? Or unhealthy. And a healthy gut produces toxins that inflames the brain. It's part of the body, and it can't be no other way. So when you have brain inflammation, what do you get? Symptoms of
anxiety.
anxiety.
You get nervous. You get palpitations, whatever people get. Yeah. Yeah. So explain why mental clarity improves when you restore your gut health.
Well, then that's essentially kind of what it is, right? I mean, you got to eat the good foods. That way it can reduce the distress signals, and so when you do that, remove the inflammatory foods, I'll say about 70% of the anxiety symptoms will definitely improve. Is it 100%? No. However, it's a large percentage. And by addressing the gut health alone, you can make dramatic improvements with just your anxieties,
Right.
mental health, because now you're treating the cause and not the symptoms.
Okay. So like removing a thorn from your, from your toe or something, right? Your thumb, wherever on your body part versus giving pain medication. Is that what you're saying? So true healing versus symptom management?
Yeah, because if you got a thorn in your thumb, you can give me a pill to take care of the pain.
No.
Well, people do. Cause I got a thorn in my thumb. Like, oh my God, I got a thorn. Oh, here's
So you
some
want to
pain
let it heal
medicine.
naturally?
Well, that's what you want to do the pill, or you're going to take the root cause out and remove the thorn.
Right. Remove the thorn and just let it heal naturally.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to remove the thorn of the bad foods, the inflammatory foods,
That
right?
makes
And
sense.
so so you're talking about your key nutritional interventions, and like you're great about that. I mean,
First and foremost is remove the inflammatory triggers,
right?
right? Stop, the damage before the healing starts. So
Yeah. And so yeah, completely. So, what foods would you say cause the most gut brain problems?
I say sugar, right? Because they feed harmful bacteria. Processed wheat, those damage your gut lining,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And the GMO wheat stuff, not the real good quality stuff. And industrial seed oils, those are highly inflammatory. So removing these three
Yeah.
often transforms mental health.
That's crazy. Just three little things right there can just change the course of so much, and that's like a main components of the American diet.
Yes.
The standard American diet,
Yes.
which we call it SAD, standard American diet,
Yeah.
and so those drive inflammation universally, right? And so those brain symptoms coming from that, again, we see it. You keep eating that inflammation. You don't eat it, you don't get inflammation.
That's right. That's right. So sugars is particularly harmful, right?
Okay.
And everybody has a soft spot for sugar because they love sweets. I mean,
Sweet
who
tooth,
doesn't, right?
Sweet tooth, yeah.
Who doesn't, right? It feeds the harmful bacteria, like I said earlier, and it creates a microbial imbalance in your gut, and it directly impacts your neurotransmitters. Plain and simple.
That serotonin, the signals there.
Yeah.
Well, what about gluten? I mean, that's kind of controversial, isn't it?
It is, but this is beyond celiac disease, right? So the non-celiac gluten sensitivity is a common thing, and some doctors recognize it, some don't, right? So it creates inflammation without the digestive symptoms,
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that. Okay.
So often it manifests as anxiety, brain fog. That's how it manifests.
All by the gluten itself, and you won't even know it. Yeah.
Yeah, our wheat has changed dramatically because people say, well, we ate, wheat has been around for thousands of years. Yes, it has. But what is it now today?
So yeah, I mean, that explains why mental clarity kind of improves itself within days by removing gluten now, from how much it changed.
So, healing foods that we like to emphasize is omega-3 rich foods such as wild caught fish, right? Prebiotic foods, garlic, onions, get those G bombs in, and fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, good quality yogurt, right?
Yeah, non-dairy yogurt.
Non-dairy.
Yeah,
Please.
definitely.
Non-dairy, and make sure it has the active life cultures in it.
Yeah. So, what you say it would be like the one change for the biggest impact? Like, where would you suggest you start with those three things?
Hands down, sugar.
Okay.
You got to take it, got to remove it from your diet. And this goes for children, adults. Remove it from your diet,
It's
right?
like sugar's like poison.
It is. I mean,
The cocaine.
it is. People are so addicted to it. And I get it. I like sugar too, but I refuse to put it in my mouth once in a blue moon. And you could
Treat.
have tested. Yeah. I could count on
Yeah, you hardly do it at all.
hardly do it at all because I know if I go down that route. But it's the most single powerful intervention you can do, and you'll see improvement within 7 to 10 days. But that's the best first step anyone can take.
I believe it. Sugar is in everything. You get rid of the sugars. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be soaring through the roof, and so But there's also things beyond nutrition, right? And I think there's two critical factors that play a big part of it all. And I think stress management, which I'm gonna tell you, stress management is a learned skill. You have to be
Oh, yeah.
intentional about managing stress, and there's different ways about doing it. And that's a whole different video and conversation. But stress management, sleep quality, I think those both directly affect also the gut-brain
Agreed.
connection.
Agreed. And we keep hearing lately in the last several years, it's like sleep is so important. So, why would you say why is stress so connected to gut health?
Now, that's a great question because when you think about chronic stress, it damages the intestinal lining.
Okay.
All right. And so now what happens is you start to create a vicious cycle that just kind of keeps repeating on itself. So you get a gut issues, it triggers anxiety. Anxiety does what? It will essentially create more stress in your head, which creates more damage to the gut.
All right. It's a vicious
More
cycle,
gut
like you
damage,
said.
more the brain. So it's a
Yeah.
vicious cycle, and it's it's like a self-perpetuating type of problem.
So our two-step approach is number one, calm the nervous system down.
Gotta learn how to do
Right.
it.
So I know you've talked about this before, but it's deep breathing, right, for 5 minutes twice daily. Cold water flushes on your face, or if you have the time or
The courage.
for me that's me. But if you have the time or the ability to go do a cold plunge, do it. Right, gentle humming, listening to music. All of this activates a relaxing response.
Yeah, another very, very simple techniques that are powerful. I mean, you definitely dive deeper, but you can start there, and that will definitely help because you will start to reduce the inflammation throughout the whole body. Like you say, calming effects happen pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. Go outside. Get in nature, right? So, what is the second step?
Yeah, so the sleep, you got to have a consistent sleep schedule.
Okay.
You can't be all over the board. You got to kind of get in tune with nature, the sun up, sun down. No screens before bed. If you do have a screen, I mean, you want to turn on that night light, turn off the blue light. Because I know some people read, I like to read, but phones are away in a
Yes.
different room 100%. Don't be tempted by the ding, 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 or the Instagram, ooh, I got my dopamine hit before I go to sleep. But yeah, your bedroom wants to be dark. You want it to be cool. We sleep with a overhead fan on to help keep cool. Sometimes it still get hot, so I got to cool it down a little more. But yeah, then also too, you want to try to eat at least 3 hours before sleep. That way, it's not overly working.
Yeah.
But
Body's calming down.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So meal timing is critical
Yeah,
in our view. It's very important, right? It affects the gut health and the mental clarity.
yeah, 100%. And when you have proper sleep, I mean, that alone can help reduce anxiety, 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
So you got to get to sleep. It's underrated. People don't do it, and just do it. Just get some good sleep.
Sleep and diet, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
So when people address these root causes, anxiety typically reduces significantly within weeks.
Quickly,
Yeah.
really quickly.
Yeah, the sleep improves, the brain fog lifts. It's eventually it reduce. The goal is to reduce or eliminate the medication.
Yeah, yeah, because actually causing more problems for it.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything at all. So we do these things. I do. I think the results are consistent. The thing is, it's a very simple thing to do. Just remove the triggers. It's going to support the healing. And oftentimes it's difficult because I don't think we're honest with ourselves about the things we may eat,
Yes.
how well our sleep is, how well we manage stress,
Yes.
what triggers us,
Yes.
what how we got it's like different ladders you got to kind of climb. I mastered this level.
Now is the next one.
Now go to the next level, and then you start getting this mind-body connection where it's functioning properly again. And we able to manage that. It's a skill, a learned skill, and that's why it's often. I mean, we learned it from really, quite frankly, coaches on all different levels, from business and health coaching. The changes, and they're life altering.
It is.
So here are the big three takeaways from today's episode. It's that this. Number one, anxiety may not be a brain problem. Often, it's a symptom of gut inflammation, and if you treat the wrong system, you're going to have limiting results. So addressing the gut can often resolve any kind of mental symptoms.
Yeah, and also too, most powerful first step you can take is to eliminate the inflammatory triggers. That's sugar, processed wheat, industrial seed oils. And often you'll produce results within days.
And you say the first one overall, number one,
Sugar.
do sugar.
Sugar by hands
Number
down.
one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And always check, sugar isn't sneaking in everything, especially in processed foods. So read your labels.
Got to look at it. Yes, and that's where people fall in trap because they think they're getting healthy.
Yep.
Number three is that you want to support that relaxation and sleep. I just went through it. It's going to improve your communication between your gut and your brain. And those simple techniques can have profound effects. It's a good place to start. You can always up your game, like with everything, but it's totally accessible for you. You can do it starting right now.
That's right. Mental clarity doesn't require lifelong medication. For many, healing begins in the gut, not the brain. So, different approach, different results.
Love it. That's so well said. Yeah. Hey, listen, if this resonated with you, subscribe, hit the notification button.
Sign up for our newsletter. The link is in the description below. Get our free guides and updates.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. Share this with anybody or your loved one, family who actually needs this information.
That's right. Until next time, be well.
All right. Take care.